In the mid-1970s, I was in graduate school in Washington. And when visitors would come into town, you would take them on the normal tour, Washington at night, or the Smithsonian, or whatever it might be. But in those days, everybody wanted to see something else in addition to the monuments. They wanted to go to Georgetown, a section of Washington, and see where the scene was that was used in The Exorcist. There was a huge set of stairs that came down from a height in Georgetown down to towards the river. The movie was supposedly based on a true story, except in reality it was a little boy. In the movie it was a little girl who was possessed by the devil. And an old Jesuit came in to serve as the exorcist. And for its day, it had lots of special effects. If you're old enough to have seen the movie, the head that rotated, other things that I won't mention in public, and the man that was thrown out the window down the stairs. I'm not sure about the truthfulness of some of those details, but I am certain that evil does exist. There is a certain power of evil, and it controls us if we allow it to control us. Let's look briefly at the Gospel of Mark we just heard, and then ask how it might apply in our own lives here and now. We're in the very first chapter of Mark, and Jesus joins the battle, if you will. He confronts the evil that has possessed this person. And he is shown as speaking with authority and being able to overcome, overrule the evil one. I don't think it's all that helpful to expend much effort on a discussion whether there really is a devil with horns and a tail. That's not all important. What's important is to recognize that there is a presence. There is a power of evil that is always with us, that we need to recognize that we have the ability, we have the free will, we can cooperate with God's grace and overcome the evil, whether it's present in ourselves as individuals or even in our society. It basically comes down to a choice for good or a choice for evil. A good example of our ability to choose is present in a lot of the 12-step recovery programs. In AA, for example, there's a point where the participant is encouraged to give themselves over to a greater power, to understand that they are not in control, but giving to the higher power, you can overcome the difficulties, the addiction that you have. In theological terms, we would talk about our need for grace to overcome evil. The insidiousness of evil is that we sometimes think of it as good and fail to see our need to conquer it. It often comes under the banner of selfishness. Shouldn't I be number one? Isn't that the conventional evil, conventional philosophy and wisdom? But it's really evil. Perhaps evil is an excessive emphasis on my own wants, my own pleasures. If it feels good, this philosophy says, do it, just as long as it doesn't hurt someone else. Evil. Evil exists whenever human beings are reduced to objects and not treated with the dignity and respect due to all persons at all stages of life. Evil really does exist, but not just in an old movie. It exists in real life. As we continue our liturgy today, let's all of us ask the Lord to help us to overcome the presence of evil in our lives as individuals, or indeed even as a society. It's only with the grace of God, it's only under His authority that we can hope to succeed.